I'm Daniela with Young Entertainment Mag. We are so excited to sit down with you today and talk about this incredible adventure that you're on with That 90s Show. How iconic. I'm so excited to chat with you. Are you ready to be picked up for season 2?
I am so ready. I'm so excited to get back to filming. And it's just been like amazing. I've been getting emails and calls from friends and family all over the world, really. I have a cousin who lives in Ireland, and they sent me a picture of that. It was like number 3 in Ireland for last week. And then it was just like, I've been hearing from friends in Chicago and Colorado and all over the nation. And it's just been amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so it's so cool to hear how like it's affected you personally, like family and friends, international people that you know texting you. So what has it been like for your career as well?
I mean, I think it's just like it's funny because I would always, to my family at least, say like, "Oh, if they hadn't already done 70 Show, that would have been my dream project." And so now to actually be here and be able to be like, "Oh, I'm in That 90s Show" is just the most surreal thing in the world. And obviously, working with Netflix is a huge blessing, and it's just I'm very excited to see what comes of it. And it's been
Wow.
incredible.
Okay, so we can't just skip over that. That was pretty amazing. So tell us more about that. So what about that 70s show made you feel like, "Oh, that's my show?" Like, did you binge it growing up? Like, what? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I know that I started binging it in like 2017. I think
Okay.
I've seen it like 3 or maybe 4 times all the way through. And my family and I were actually like re-binging it for probably the third time over that first leg of quarantine.
Yeah.
And then when they announced That 90s Show, I was just like blown away by that. And I knew I had to try to get in front of them if I could possibly. But I think what made 70 Show so special for me was A, that it was like our family show that we would all sit down and watch together whenever we could. And B, because there were always moments in a lot of the characters that I could relate to. And I think that they did such a good job with that, is that even though it's this, larger than life sitcom, every moment feels very real and every moment feels like I could see myself in that situation. And so we always used to be like, who would you want to play? And I'm like, honestly, any of them, because they're all so cool. But I'm like, now I get to be here and be Nate. It's amazing.
That's insane. That's so cool. So speaking of that, so when you found out, okay, That 90s Show is actually a thing, this is happening, OMG, how did you go about, did you like call your agent? Like, what did you do?
My sister sent me the casting announcement and was like, Max, we have to get in the room. And then I sent that to my manager and agent, and they were like, oh, okay, we'll like let you know. And then a week later I got an audition, and that was like October. And so I sent in a tape for, well, also is so perfect. Nate's character description was a corn-fed Midwestern kid who wants a Ford F-150. And I'm from Colorado and I have a Ford F-150. So I was like, this is meant to be. But I sent in that tape in October, and I don't think I heard anything until like January 7th of the next year. And then it was sort of like a whirlwind of 4 or 5 more audition like rounds and chemistry reads. And then yeah, it was
Wow.
crazy.
Okay, talk me through that too, like the psychological part of it. So like so you were so pumped. You're like, sister sent me this, go sister, she wins. And then
Yeah.
your manager and your agent get you this audition. Then it's October, you self-tape, and then you wait till you said January.
Yeah.
So were you like in your head about it? Like, oh man, I didn't hear back.
I was like, oh, that was such a perfect role. I guess just wasn't meant to be. And I was like, I had completely moved on by like December, November, pretty early on, because normally I was like, oh, that's not coming back around. And then my agent called me in January and was like, hey, so they want to bring you back in. And I was like, for what? And she's like, 90s show. And I was just, okay. I completely
Oh,
thought that ship had sailed.
that's crazy. So what was the audition process like from there once you got that call? Did you go immediately like into the room? Was it
It was
not
all over
over Zoom
Zoom
anymore?
still.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Oh
it was
wow.
interesting. And it wasn't until after I got cast that I got to go meet everybody. But I think the first time I got on with Mark and Geraldine, who are the casting directors, and then I think that was like Thursday for a brief timeline, and then by Saturday I was meeting with Gail and Greg, who are the director and the showrunner. And then the next week I had 2 rounds of chemistry reads in front of like Netflix and then all the EPs, like the Turners and everything, which was incredibly nerve-wracking because I'm sitting in this waiting room just like freaking out about I'm gonna get on this call and there's gonna be Hollywood royalty there. What do I do? But
That's
it was
insane.
wild, yeah.
Oh
And
my
it
gosh.
was
And
only
I'm
like a
sure,
week and a half too. So it was like 3 months of waiting and then week and a half and boom.
that's amazing. And I'm sure like any role you book ever is so exciting, but to have this be so special and then to be able to call your family, what was the call to your family like to tell them you got it?
I'm pretty sure I got a noise violation. I don't know if I actually did, but my neighbor was not happy with me because we were in an apartment at the time, and I literally was jumping up and down. And I'm a fairly large person, so that's not quiet. And I was just so excited. I think I like actually jumped up and down for an hour, and then I was calling everybody. And it wasn't until I called my grandparents that I realized I probably wasn't supposed to be telling people yet. Because I was like, technically it's not announced, but I'm like, I can't not tell my Nana and Papa, right?
Yeah. Oh my
So yeah.
God, that's insane. Okay, so exciting. Okay, so what was your reaction when you read the script and you found out there would be like an almost kiss between Nate and Leah?
I think I audibly went like, I don't know if I did the hand thing, but I definitely, my mom was like, what happened? Are you good? And I'm like, they almost kissed, mom. But that's a twist and a half. I can't lie. Because once I read it, then I was like, I could see they've kind of been setting this up, but we didn't get the scripts until the week before because they liked to keep us in the moment and like make sure that we were all in on whatever episode we were filming at the time. And so
Oh.
when they put that in, I was just like, oh my God, what, how did this happen? Who, what?
Okay,
Shocked.
wow. That's so interesting. So they don't give you like the whole series to read. You're one episode at a time?
They occasionally would give us like little, snippets from things, but
Yeah.
for the most part, we found out storylines from like the departments around who they all get the scripts before us because they have to start prepping the week before. And all of us were like filming, and then we get it right after the live show on Friday. And we would all actually one week we got it during the live show, and I think Lindsay has a picture of all of us sitting on like a twin size bed just reading it on Mace's phone. So that was fun. But yeah, we never knew what was coming next. It was always a bit of a shock.
Yeah, that's insane. So for somebody like you, do you since you're getting the script like it sounds like a week ahead of time, do you have
Mhm.
like an acting coach that you work with or is it just no, you just kind of go in on set and do your thing? How does that process work?
Well, I have a great acting coach named John Rushing who I work with largely in the audition process. And
Okay.
then after I booked the role, my sister and I actually were like a sibling team, and she really understands writing at a fundamental level, which is
Oh,
thank God for her. And
yeah.
so she usually helps me break down the scripts before the table reads. And then once I'm sort of there, we do the table read on Monday, and the rest of the week I just kind of, take it and go. Hope it
Yeah.
works out.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, cool. So we talked to Ashley who plays Gwen a couple weeks ago. She
I
was
saw.
so
I just read
fun.
the article.
Yeah.
The bomb.
She's so just sweet and cute and has the best energy and was so great to talk to her. And she shared the funniest little story about like when for her kissing scenes, how they kind of went down and how her and then her scene partner and I think it was the director like went in a trailer and they had to like practice a few times and she was like it was awkward but then it wasn't because we're all friends and she just was saying how like the dynamic of it was just kind of like funny and quirky but of
Yeah.
course it's all a professional thing because it's your job. So you had a lot of like kind of I wouldn't say intimacy but kissing scenes during the
Mhm.
season. What is that like from an actor's perspective and did you have like an intimacy coach or how does that go down on set for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there was always like an intimacy coordinator on those, and Gail, the director, was also very good at sort of filling that role when she needed to. And I think the funniest one was like the third episode. That's basically all that Sam and I do in the episode. And by then we were already like such good friends because we had
Yeah.
known each other for a few months at that point, and we just couldn't stop laughing because it was just a little ridiculous to be standing there for like five minutes at a time just making out and then trying to catch the beanbag, and it never
Yeah.
I couldn't see it, so I was like, I caught it once, and that's the take that's in the episode.
Oh
But
my
it
God.
was, yeah, I agree with Ashley. It was never awkward, which I was grateful for, but it definitely was hard to get through a take because we just kept laughing the whole time.
Yeah, that is so funny. So did you, speaking of your girlfriend, did you and Sam, who plays your girlfriend on the show, do anything specific to kind of prepare your chemistry? It sounds like you guys clicked right off the bat and you guys just had that friendship. Did you guys like go get coffee on the side, or like as an actor, what do you do to kind of develop that, I guess, connection?
Well, I think we got really lucky. Our dressing rooms were right next to each other, and then there we were in the same hallway as like the school rooms. And so the first few months we were all I was doing my senior year, she's in her junior year, and we were just like going to school. And then when we wouldn't be in school, we would just hang out in the school room and hang out the whole time. I guess I used hang out like three times in that sentence, but oh well. And I mean, offset, it was hard to coordinate everyone just because there were such strict COVID protocols at the time.
Oh yeah.
So occasionally we would all go see movies and that sort of thing and like mask up and everything.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, we have a little joke that we're like we're the same person, just different font, and I feel like that's very true. So we instantly just like meshed. We have the same music taste, like the same band T-shirts. Even I think we have the exact same Led Zeppelin shirt and
No
Pink Floyd
way.
shirt that we occasionally coordinate on wearing. So that's fun.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, it was just really everyone's like family now.
Yeah.
The whole cast, which is really lucky, and I think we became that way pretty quickly.
Oh, that's so cool. So it sounds like you guys just had like the best time ever filming. So what was your favorite scene to shoot and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, I think we went back and we reshot just the ending of the pilot so that Deborah Jo and Kurtwood could be in the scene where they like introduce us to the basement. And that was really fun because we got to do it in front of a live studio audience, and then it was like all eight of us, and it was that was one of the coolest moments. But I think honestly the whole pilot where we got to be there and with all of the original cast, or Wilmer was on set, he wasn't in the episode, but it was really magical and also very surreal. I was having like a pinch me moment the whole time.
Oh my God, that is freaking amazing. So what is one thing that like you picked up from a fellow cast member, and did any of the original cast members from that 70s show give you any advice?
Well, I mean, they all they're amazing people. They all just took us right under wing and brought us into their traditions. And I remember, I think I've talked about it a little bit in the past, but Deborah Jo and Topher brought us in on this tradition of theirs where we would all put our hands together and like shout our favorite line. And one of the most surreal memories I have is actually again from that pilot night when we were like sitting there with our hands in a circle with Topher and Ashton and Mila and Laura and Deborah Jo and Kurtwood and then all of us. And I was just like, what is happening? And the adrenaline pumped up. And yeah, I think really the best piece of advice was just all of them were always just telling us to have fun. And then they also nurtured that really fun environment. And so it never felt like you had to be stressed about anything. You could break character if you wanted. No one would get upset. We'd all just laugh together. And I think that that was probably the best piece of advice from all of them was just making it a fun work environment.
That's so cool. Okay, so speaking of favorite lines, having to shout your favorite line, what do you think your favorite line is?
Well, I'm a big fan of Fez's I Said Good Day. That's like iconic. And so is Burn. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Uh, I I think my favorite line from this one is when Donna runs in and says to Ozzy, "Is this your sex boy?" Because we couldn't get through that scene without someone laughing, and so that was like an hour of the night was just trying to get through that one line, and that's most of the blooper reel. It's priceless.
Oh my God. I always think about that. Like, I do a lot of TikTok stuff. So sometimes like I'll have takes where I'm like laughing and whatever. And like I can't get it together. I'm like, I can't imagine if there was a whole set of people, like waiting for me to just get my stuff together and not laugh. Do you ever feel like does anybody ever get mad or like pissed off? Like, you guys, we gotta get
Oh.
through this.
Everyone's just so it's like it's such a wonderful whole the whole cast and crew. I mean, I said family, that's a good word for it. Everyone's
Yeah.
just having like the best time every week, and it's a lot of fun. But
Oh my God.
I don't remember anyone ever getting mad.
That's so
Hopefully,
cool.
they didn't show it to me at least.
I love it. So what was it like going from a Disney Channel series, Gabby Duran and the Insedibles, to a Netflix series?
It was well, for one thing, we shot Gabby Duran up in Canada, in
Oh,
Vancouver, which was wildly different from like shooting it here in LA because
yeah.
I'm from Colorado, so I was at least a little prepared for the cold weather, but Canada is very cold. I
Yeah,
was not
yeah.
expecting how cold it would get. So that was interesting. It was nice to shoot here, but I also loved Vancouver because we were there during COVID, and it was a really nice way to be able to get out into nature and go for hikes and
Yeah.
everything. So that I'm grateful for that. I think the biggest difference is that the Gabby Duran was a single cam, so it was shot kind of like a movie, and then this is the multicam. So the schedule is just so different because we rehearse all week for this, and then we shoot everything in one night, basically like a play.
Wow.
Whereas Gabby Duran, we would be shooting 5 days a week, and I don't know. They're both a lot of fun though, so I'm a big fan
Yeah.
of both shows.
That's so interesting. And I could totally get the Colorado vibes from like your background here that you have
The
set up.
cowboy hat, right? On
Yeah, I
the
love it.
coast.
I was born in Denver. I haven't spent
Oh
much
my
time
gosh.
there, but yeah, I went back there on a road trip a couple years ago, and we went to a bunch of states in the U.S. Colorado was my favorite. It was
It's
so
so pretty.
beautiful. It's
Yeah,
insane.
I'm a totally unbiased big fan of Colorado.
Yeah. Do you go back often?
We try to go back like one at least once a year
Yeah.
because all of my grandparents are there.
Oh, cool.
We just went back for the holidays this year, and then normally we go in the summer because it's nice and warm there. But
Yeah.
we get some skiing in while we're there this winter. So.
What three emojis would best describe your character, Nate?
Okay, definitely the mind blown emoji. I think he often has his mind blown by just everything. I'm gonna go. Ooh, is there like an acoustic guitar emoji or is it just electric guitar? I'll go either one of those works because he's a big grunge and country music fan, so I'll go both. And then I'll go cheese emoji for Wisconsin. I feel like that's a good standby.
I love it. So good. Okay. Who had the best 90s fashion like style
Mm.
on set out of all the characters?
On set or like the characters or the
Yeah,
actors?
like the characters. Like who do you
Oh,
think
okay.
in the show, like which character
Hmm.
has the best 90s fashion?
I mean, probably Gwen. Everyone had really good fashion, but you can't beat Gwen's outfits. Those were iconic.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay.
Unbiased opinion, though, I had the most comfy outfits. So,
And that's
you know,
important.
I'll
That's
take that.
important. I love it. Okay, so not as your character, but as you, what is your favorite snack from Crafty on set? Your
Beef
go-to.
jerky.
Say that again.
Beef jerky. They had like it's dangerous. They have a lot of beef jerky and trail mix, and so every time between takes, Mason and I would run out and get beef jerky and trail mix. Then it would get caught in our teeth. It'd be a whole thing before we could get back to shooting.
That's so funny. Okay, do you know what a celebrity writer is?
I don't think I do.
It's like when you're okay, like so for example, Beyonce, like is it
Hmm.
Beyonce and her celebrity writer? I might be butchering the facts, but she has to have like her trailer kept at an even 70 degrees. She requires a second trailer
Oh,
that's decorated in all white decor. She
oh,
requires a special type of is it red toilet paper? Someone has red toilet like
interesting.
things that you require like when you get signed or when you get like a show that are in your contract, whether it's snacks, just kind of crazy stuff. So like what would be or what will be in your celebrity rider?
Well, now I'm thinking maybe I want red toilet paper now. Ooh. Okay, well, I'm gonna add beef jerky in there because it is my favorite snack. So I feel like if they don't have that, I'll humbly request it. I do run warm, so the even 70 degrees sounds good. But other than that, I don't know.
Like anything crazy? Like would you have a certain like decor, like your trailer would have to be on certain decor, or like I don't know. Someone I
Ooh.
talked to recently said that they would just have their entire trailer decked out in different like in a bunch of Bluetooth speakers so they could just blast
Oh,
music. I was like, oh, that's
that
fun.
would be pretty cool. Okay, I have a lot of movie posters, and then I'm always like bringing them back and forth to my dressing room. So I'm gonna have it in there that maybe they give me movie posters
Yes.
or
Okay.
like a '90s show poster. That'd be cool.
Yes. Okay, that's good. I feel like that's so you. I love it.
Wall to wall posters. I'm picturing it now. Okay.
That's amazing. Okay, so do you know what if someone says like, "Oh, that's my biggest ick." Like have you heard of an ick?
I have heard of Vicks.
Okay,
Yes.
I figured that was like in your age
Yeah.
range, but I always have to ask. So, okay, so we want to know what's your biggest ick in a relationship as Maxwell, and then versus what you think Nate's biggest ick would be in a relationship.
Okay. Hmm. I feel like Nate's biggest ick is probably, I mean, just based off of what I've seen, it's when someone doesn't, have the same idea for their future. So that's the drama. But I don't feel like, I don't know. Nate doesn't seem like he would really have icks because he's a very loving person.
Yeah.
Um, for me, I don't. I mean, probably like hygiene. Hygiene is a good one.
That's important. Yeah.
You have good hygiene. Yeah, I'll go with that.
I love it. You know what a common one that I always hear is when I ask is like if you're on a date and somebody's rude to the waiter or the waitress, it's
Oh,
like that's a
totally.
hard no. So like
Okay, I'm
that's
gonna
a big
add
one.
that to my
Yeah,
ick list. Yeah.
totally. Amazing.
Hi, I'm Maxwell AC Donovan. I play Nate in that '90s show, and this is Young Entertainment Mag.